highly unusual, and I think he's concerned himself. So I hope nothing has happened. Yeah, that, what you were just saying, come to think of it, I have not seen him at all on Twitter either this evening. So,
yeah, last tweet Enrique said was 5 hours ago, and that's a long time for Eric to go without tweeting.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So.
We all need that 12-step program.
Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, it used to be social media for me was Facebook, and then I don't know, several months back, I just decided I had joined Twitter some time ago and really couldn't grasp the whole concept of Twitter. I was like, what is this? And then kind of gravitated back towards it to kind of give it a second look, and I got sucked in. So as my life has never been the same since.
Oh, I know. I know. You used to wake up in the morning and just have your coffee, get ready for work, or if you didn't work, just do whatever you had to do around the house and things like that, and then maybe check your Facebook later on or your email or something. And now it's gotten to the point that the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I can't even see straight yet, and I'm turning on my computer to look and see what's going on Twitter. And I had it for almost 2 years, I think it was, before I even used it. And when they canceled All My Children and One Life to Live, and I started joining all these different groups on Facebook, and, we're trying to save the soaps and do what we can for them, a lot of people were on Twitter, and they said, well, we need to get out there because you can reach so many more people. So I jumped on, not even knowing what the heck I was doing. I didn't know what RT was. I didn't know you had to put the @ sign if you wanted to talk to somebody. I was that bad.
Well,
and now I have to explain it to people.
And you were talking about when you get up in the morning, you're like checking your computer and cutting it on. My computer stays on 24/7, and that's probably not a good thing for it, but it does. And I have an iPhone, so I leave my phone by my bedside because it's the only phone I have. I don't have a landline phone anymore. I mean, when you have 2 children and they have cell phones and then you have one, there's no point in having a landline. I mean, everybody calls you on your cell or texts you.
Right.
But anyway,
or text you, even from the next room, they'll text you or something.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I've been guilty of that before, texting my children, but that's okay. We won't go there. But yes, I mean, I have this really bad habit of the first thing, I'll leave my phone on because I never know if my mom's going to call in the middle of the night or my daughter. They both live, 30, 40 minutes away from me. So I leave it on for that reason. But I get up in the morning to look to make sure everything's cool, and there's like 50 notifications on my iPhone. Just scroll them. It's like, oh, my gosh.
Right.
Do people sleep? It's like,
yeah.
Well, okay. But it's, it's just kind of become part of the early morning wake-up routine. It's just something you do, So
exactly.
So what were you saying about a 12-step program?
Yeah. Well, especially doing this show, too. The first thing you check is Twitter, and you check your DMs. You check your email to see if you've gotten a response from somebody that they're going to do the show and when it's going to be, or if they have questions. And, that's the routine now.
Yeah.
Then I go get my coffee.
It's a little different animal when you have your own show, and you know that, when people are in different time zones and they could be emailing you or tweeting you in the middle of the night when you're sleeping, or you're doing the same when they're sleeping. So, it's almost like you almost are checking your phone 24/7 sometimes.
Exactly.
And, but it's just the nature of the beast when you're in this business is, if you've got people in different time zones and they vary, then you just have to do what you have to do,
Right.
Is that a great excuse? Does that sound like a good excuse or what?
That sounds like a good excuse to me.
Yeah,
I do have friends all over the world. I actually have friends in Australia, Singapore, England, Ireland. I'm trying to think where else. Scotland, I have one. I have a couple there. So, so they'll get on Facebook at different times. When you're sleeping, it's their daytime, and vice versa.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Same thing for Twitter, and even if they call, they have to call me sometimes late. I know my one friend in Singapore, I think she's like 13 hours ahead of me. So it's strange talking to somebody that's not only in a different time zone, but also it's the next day already.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, well, I still haven't heard anything, and I am so sorry, guys. This is, this is a disappointment, but, it doesn't mean it's for naught. We will definitely get him back on when we can. We're actually going to try to hang out till right around the top of the hour and see if he calls. Hold on just a minute. I'm getting this. Okay. I just heard from his publicist. He will be calling in 10 minutes. So if you guys can stand to listen to Pam and I for another 10 minutes until he calls, what I would recommend in this 10-minute window, if anyone wants to call in, do so now so we can go ahead and screen you and get you in line to speak to him because at this point, since he's calling in 10, we don't know if we're going to get a full hour, if we're going to get 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or what we're going to get. I think he'll honor the hour since that was what we originally agreed to, but just to be able to say so. So if you want to call in, go ahead and call at 718-506-1540, or if you have questions, just go ahead and email them to us at info@take2radio.com, or you can tweet them to us. We'll be glad to be looking. We're checking all the social media sites that we belong to. So,
right.
Anyway, so we have him. He will be on the way shortly, and it looks like this is going to go down after all. Yay!
Also, too, after the 2-hour mark, if we do happen to run past that, anyone that's in the chat room listening, you will not be able to hear the rest of the interview unless you call in, or you can listen to the podcast after the show is over and hear the rest of the interview. Yeah,
definitely. So we really appreciate you guys. You're troopers to hang with us and listen to us talk about everything under the sun and then some. And, but it's the nature of the beast in the showbiz world because, these actors, they stay very busy and stretch pretty thin as, we all see on Twitter when they're tweeting, they're being called to the studio. They're putting out tweets, gotta go, going to the studio. I mean, it's very, very unpredictable and some days I'm sure is very chaotic for them. So for any of them, to be able to have any time at all to call into a radio show and give up their time is truly appreciated. And of course, the same goes for all of you because without you, we would have no show. So
right.
We're glad to be here and do what we do for all of you. So Pam, do we? I'm not nervous now. Does this mean we start getting nervous all over again? No, seriously. I think we're good. We've talked ourselves through it. Maybe we just needed an hour to kind of breathe and brace ourselves. Who knows?
I still want a glass of wine. Who's got the wine? Somebody hand me the wine.
Yeah, would someone please bring the wine out because I think Pam and I definitely need it now. So.
Right.
Oh gosh. Well, it's better late than never, as they say. So I'm very excited that he's okay. I mean, obviously, if he's calling at 10, he's okay, and that's a good thing. So, which actually is less than 10 now, just so you know, Pam. So it's going to be it'll be a lot of fun, and we've got some great questions we're going to ask him. And he is, as I was saying before, he is a very interesting man. He's done a lot of things in his lifetime. I mean, it's amazing to me when I read his bio just how much he has done and how much he's accomplished. And, he's originally from Germany. He immigrated here when he was young. And really, as he likes, as it's been said, he's, built himself and his life from the ground up, just like his character on The-Young-and-the-Restless, Victor-Newman. So he is quite the storyteller, too. If you've never heard him in an interview, you're in for a treat because he loves to talk about his life experiences, and he's very, very good, and I think we have him, Pam.
Okay. Area code 918, who is this, please?
Hey, my name's Angela.
Hi, Angela. Are you calling in to talk to Eric?
Yes.
Okay. We actually don't have him yet. He's running a little bit late, so if you wouldn't mind holding, we'll get back to you as soon as we get him. Okay?
Not a problem.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. He didn't. Charles did not tell me what number he's calling from. Of course, I wouldn't expect him to. So, but it's probably going to come in as on a blind number, I'm sure.
I think so.
Yeah. So we'll just be poised and ready, huh? So it's going to be great. It'll be a great interview. He's just, as I was saying, he's a wonderful storyteller. I could sit and listen to him talk about his life experiences because he has so many stories. I mean, that's one question I think would be interesting to ask him, is if he has ever had anyone write a biography about his life, or, if there's an autobiography out there, because wow, what a book that would be.
Definitely.
Definitely. So.
Yeah, you can tell by reading what he's written on his website or had somebody write for him. I was blown away.
Mhm. Yes, he is very, very interesting. Probably one of the most interesting people that I have met, or not actually met, but have read about and learned about in my lifetime. His life story reads very much like a historical biography of some of our country's greatest founders, and just all the many things that he's done and the experiences he's had, and just it's just unbelievable what he's accomplished.
He's a history lesson in itself.
Yeah, very good. That's a great way to sum it up, because he is, all of his accomplishments are not just strictly related to acting and, film and television and that sort of thing. I mean, he's done so much outside of the realm of acting that people probably don't even realize. So it's going to be quite interesting to speak with him and get a real feel for who he is as Eric-Braeden, the man,
right,
versus Victor-Newman, the character on The-Young-and-the-Restless. So really, really treat you guys are in for. So are we breathing yet?
I think I will once he calls in,
Yeah.
The hard part is just the waiting, I think, now at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that now is a good time, too, to tell everybody, the listeners, you have your own show.
Yes, I do. I don't like to use your show to talk about my show.
That's
but since
okay.
you opened that door, we will. It is a time filler, isn't it? Yes, for those of you who may not be aware, I have my own show, in addition to helping Pam out here on her show, Picture Radio. My show is called Jam and Jukebox, and it is also located here on Blog Talk Radio. And what my show is, it is an indie music radio show where we play the music of indie artists. And typically on Saturday nights, we have about 2 hours of all kinds of indie music that we play. And then throughout the week, we do artist interviews with various indie artists. And we have some great artists. Some of the best music you'll ever hear is coming out of the indie music world. And so we have a show tomorrow night. It's called the Indie Artist Showcase. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you've never listened in, I invite you, if you're surfing the net or not doing anything during that time, feel free to join in and take a listen. It's a great show, getting a lot of good feedback. Apparently there's a lot of indie music fans out there, which I really did not realize until we began the show back in July. But it's really taken off, and we're doing some great things. And now that we're in the cusp of the holiday season, tomorrow night we'll be adding in a few holiday tunes in the mix of music. So if you're in the holiday spirit already, especially join in, because I think you'll be in for a real treat. It's really neat to see what indie artists are able to do with holiday songs and how they kind of make it their own. So it'll be tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. Pacific. So look forward to that. And you can also, if you want to see a rundown of all the artists that we have scheduled for interviews on the show, you can go to the-jammin, that's JAMMIN, jukebox.com, and it'll have a listing there of all the artists we have on tap for the next month or so. So tune in if you can. And
yeah, it's all different types of music, and people. Actually, she's interviewed different bands from like England and all over the U.S. So it's really interesting. Besides having great music,
most definitely. So it's a fun show. I have a great time doing it. Pam has co-hosted with me a time or two. We've had a lot of fun. So before we got her show rolling, but now her show is underway.